Welcome to the Bosman Viewing. Today we're going to be talking about another obscure player. But before we get into this one, let's remind ourselves what this guy was all about. Cool, calm and collected, with agility most keepers would die for. This is Finnish goalkeeping legend, Antti Niemi. Born and raised in Finland, and to be more specific, he was raised in the city of Oulu, I believe it's pronounced. This part of the country has some pretty harsh winters, tough conditions for anyone that wants to become an athlete, so you have to be dedicated, and that's what he was, spending his entire childhood trying to make it in the game. And then he got his big break when he was signed by Helsinki, and this is where he made over 100 appearances and spent his first 4 years of his career. Even as a young goalkeeper, trying to make his name, he was able to hold on to the number one spot at this club for a number of seasons. Becoming a mainstay at this club, holding on to that number one jersey, and also winning many Man of the Match awards, it was just a matter of time before a bigger club swooped in to get him, and that was when he made his move to FC Copenhagen. This was a big step up to anything he was used to from before, much bigger crowds, competing for titles and also playing European games. But with his mentality, nothing seemed to faze him, always staying cool, calm and collected. So he established himself as the number one at this club for those 2 years, and again getting noticed by larger teams in and around Europe, so at that point they swooped in again and it was time to move on. Next stop for Niemi was Scotland, when he signed for Glasgow Rangers in 1997. A club at this time that was competing in the Champions League and also in a historic battle with rival Celtic to try and win 10 league titles in a row. His aim, as before, was to become the number one goalkeeper at Rangers, but he struggled at first as he was competing with established goalkeeper Theo Snelders and also a legend of the club in Andy Goram. But he stuck with things and was able to impress in a handful of games he got in his first season, and due to this, the following year he was given more opportunities to play, even being picked to play in the Scottish Cup final that they won. However, a new manager came in and he signed two high-profile goalkeepers in Lionel Charbonnier and next up with Stefan Klos. So at this point, that pretty much signalled the end of his time at Rangers. However, Niemi opted to stay in Scotland and he moved to Edinburgh to join Hearts of Midlothian to become their first team goalkeeper. Easily seen as one of the biggest clubs in Scotland outside of the old firm, he quickly became a fan favourite as their new number one. A leader in their squad with a winning mentality, he put in some fantastic performances during his 3 years at the club, showcasing his ability and agility to help Hearts compete against both Rangers and Celtic. Due to this, he became a club legend and is seen as one of the best goalkeepers in the team's history, which made it difficult for them to hold on to him when bigger clubs became interested. It was at this point Niemi decided it was time to move on, and he wanted to compete in the Premier League, and he had a number of clubs wanting to sign him, but he chose to move to Southampton. An established Premier League team where he could play in one of the biggest leagues in the world as their starting first team goalkeeper, it made sense for him to choose this club. Immediately making an impact as soon as he joined, he carried the form he had at Hearts and didn't look out of place at all in the Premier League. Knowing that you're going to be going up against some of the biggest teams in world football, along with some of the best strikers trying to score past you, it didn't seem to faze him. It was for this reason the Saints fans loved him, and his reputation in the game grew immensely during this period of his career, with rumours of both Manchester United and Arsenal considering buying him at this time. He chose to stay loyal to Southampton, but unfortunately not long after this, the club was relegated, which Niemi was quoted as saying is the first bad experience he had in British football. So to be able to still compete in the Premier League, he joined Fulham. Wanting to continue playing at the highest level was what drove this move, and just like previously, he established himself as the number one goalkeeper at this club during his time. His no-nonsense approach, along with his reflexes and shot-stopping ability, made him a great signing for Fulham. However, it was during this time at the club where he suffered a number of injuries, which ultimately required him to retire earlier than expected from football. barring a small period with Portsmouth where he didn't make a first team appearance, this would be the last club Niemi would play football for. As for Niemi's international career, he was Finland's first choice goalkeeper for almost a decade. From a very young age, he showed the composure and mentality needed to play international football. Even competing with a top level keeper in Jussi Jääskeläinen, he was able to hold on to the number 1 spot. He was capped 67 times by his country and is considered one of the best in the country's history. So now that we've looked at his playing career, let's see what he's doing now. He's opted to go into coaching, with his first position being as the goalkeeping coach for the Finland national team. After this, he was then appointed as the goalkeeping coach at Brighton. But wherever he ends up coaching, this is someone that we need to stay involved in football. We hope you enjoyed the video. This is the Bosman viewing. If you're new here, you should check out our other videos and content. And if you did enjoy this one, if you could thumbs it up, that'd be great. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.